Hello and welcome to our final episode on the series of International Teachers Day, which is brought to you by the Overseas School of Colombo. Right throughout the series, we spoke to students who have obviously been a part of school in different times, at different eras, graduating at different times, as a matter of fact, and also speaking to some teachers who've actually taught each and every one of us at different times, and some of the long-serving teachers of the Overseas School of Colombo. This is episode 6 of finale of the series, and on the show today we've got some very interesting guests who obviously I've known for a very long time. One, of course, is Asanka. Asanka and I obviously we'll just stop it at that. That's all we gotta say. And if there is ever a person from school who knows everything about Asanka and myself and so many other of our friends, is Anne. Anne's on the show with us. Thanks, Anne, for being a part of the show. And yes, and we have another individual, of course, who's much younger to us, and it's Dineshka. Dineshka, thank you so much for coming on the show. And things are completely different from how when we went to school to compare to when you went to school. We'll talk about all that in just a bit. But let's start off with Anne. Anne, how are you?
I'm fine, Jack. Thank you.
It's lovely to see you
Lovely
after,
to see you too.
what, 30 years? 25 years?
I don't know, maybe more.
Maybe more, maybe more. Yeah, so well,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. And Anne was, for the longest time, she was a secretary to the senior school principal.
Yes.
And she welcomed me in the office on a regular basis.
Worked on everybody, actually.
Yeah,
Not
she's
just
And
him.
saved us from more than a few detentions.
That is very true. That is very true. That is very true. And when did you retire?
2020.
2020.
2020.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
just when COVID was starting.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your formative years as far as school is concerned. Let's talk about how things have actually changed from the times, I suppose, when we went to school to the time that you retired. What was the progress like?
Well, education-wise, yes, I would say there's a huge progress, right? But I cannot comment on anything else. I mean, like as a secretary,
Yeah,
because life is very different. A secretary's
That's true.
position is very different to a teacher's. But we have had good times, fun times.
Yeah, yeah. We've all had some great
Yeah.
times. And we've all seen some fantastic teachers coming and going.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Yes.
something that we can actually
Yes,
talk
and
about.
we are still the only IB World School in Sri Lanka. So
That's
that
right.
says a lot.
Yeah.
So,
We've got
I
so
am-
many things that we want to basically talk about, and we spoke about this before. Every single step that we actually take in this school is a memory for us. Every hall is a memory for us. Every corridor, there's a story. That's the spot that we used to be actually hanging
yes,
out.
I
our hangout
remember
spot.
all
That's the
those
hangout spot there, which
and the lockers
also
over
basically
there.
we didn't
And
talk about.
oh,
Asanka and I were basically in the same class for the longest time. But how have things changed for you after you, obviously, in terms of school, right? I remember you actually came back about 20 years ago to actually help out with school also.
Yeah, it's been, OCS, back in the day it was OCS for us, Overseas Children's School.
Yeah.
It was such a huge part of our life, right? We basically lived here. We went home for the other stuff kind of thing.
Right. We went home to sleep.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's about it.
Couldn't wait to go home and then go out again to meet our friends.
Yeah.
And sort of coming back for the 50th anniversary celebrations, and the school wanted to do something, and this place means so much to us. Right. So I wanted to make sure that we did something worthy of the school for the 50th. But I already noticed, the school had changed so much by then. And now yet again, it has transformed or transmogrified or whatever it has happened. But it seems to be amazing. And I think it's goes in that OCS tradition of continuously improving and evolving. I guess.
Yeah, kudos to the parents and the committee and everybody who's actually behind this to make sure that there is continuous progression that actually happens, not necessarily as far as the infrastructure is concerned, even in terms of education, there is continuous progression for schools. Dineshka, you basically came to school for the last 2 years for your IB.
Correct.
Right? When you did come into school, was there a bit of a culture shock for you from where you were to where you came into OSC?
Very very much. A huge culture shock, a
Right.
massive culture shock. Because I came from an all-boys school.
Yeah, that was a
So,
fun experience.
yes.
And he should have been here when you all were there.
Yeah.
I also came from a boys' school.
When we were there, there was no culture shock. There was just shock.
Shock.
I mean, yeah, no culture shock, just shock.
So talk us through the first couple of days when you actually got into school.
So the first day of school, I still remember I was wearing a white pair of Fila shoes, and those days camo trousers were in, right? Those were the hip styles. And I was walking up the stairs, and I went up there, and then someone comes and like smacks my back. And then, mind you, I'm coming from an all-boys school, okay? Now I look back, and there's a really gorgeous girl who just did that. And I had no idea how to react to this. Because it was so new to me. So speaking of shock, that was the biggest shock I got on day one. But all in good spirits. It was fantastic memories. Yeah, first 2 days, shock. But then thanks to the teachers who were very, very supportive, because it's a big learning curve to sort of adjust to the culture. You know, the children, the teachers, everyone was just so supportive. I'm great. I got to spend at least 2 years in probably the best educational experience I've ever gotten in my life.
That's saying a lot. That's actually saying a lot. And that's exactly what the school has been building for the last so many years. And it hasn't been stagnant. That's the most important thing. There's always something that's actually been building pillar after pillar. Asanka, now you and I, basically, we go back to the 90s, and things were completely different at that
80s
time.
actually.
80s, actually, yeah. And we were just basically explaining to some of the newbies that we worked really hard for the pool that we never swam in.
Absolutely.
What I want to know is, remember when we were in 11th grade, they basically said we're going to have the school vote on whether we're going to have a pool or a gym.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And everybody was like, yeah, duh, no brainer, we want a pool, right? And then, of course, magically it became a gym.
Yeah, the pool became a gym.
And then finally we left, and of course, you guys get the pool.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, bum deal for us, though.
It was. But it was, I mean, again, lots of stuff. And it's great to see the opportunities that's been given to the kids on a yearly basis. Asanka, back in school, was there a teacher that you found very difficult to get through to? As in terms, I mean, we all had our difficulties with different teachers. Because the style is different, teaching styles are different, but at the end of the day, this somehow makes sure that we get it. Was there a teacher that you found it very difficult to get through to?
I think, we had local teachers, we had foreign teachers from different backgrounds, all over the place, different teaching styles, everything, right? But one thing that I did find that actually cut through everything was essentially what the senior school principal told me the first day I walked into school, just over there. Coming again from a local school, and he basically said, "Hi, Asanka, it's your first day here, no? Just remember, be yourself, and don't be afraid to just express yourself, right?" So, I think we've all had our fair share of tangles with teachers, but if you are,
For sure.
if you always basically said, "Look, this is my opinion," I don't think a single teacher in this school has said, "No, you're not allowed to have that opinion."
That's right.
So that developed a sense of respect, which I think made it work, despite. It actually made us stronger in the day.
Yeah, funny, Asanka, is the fact that, we've had so many kids, so many past students on the series before who have actually said the same thing in just different words. Is the fact that they didn't tell you what to think, they showed you how to think, which of course opens the mind. Was that the same for you, Dineshka?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I came from a curriculum that was very different, that had a lot of... we were not allowed to use simple. If you were to find, let's say, tan 65, you had to just do sine divided by cos. I think that is still tan, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves me right.
Right.
But the fact that we were allowed to use all these technology back then, I think that was a big leap forward for me in terms of education. As far as expressions are concerned, we were allowed to have a dialogue in class. Go back and forth, learn. Like, there was nothing called a dumb question, right? So I think that really helped lift the morals of the students, because not everyone learns the same way. Some people learn differently. So it was very empowering, I guess, the learning experience. That's it for me here.
Did you ever get in trouble?
Can you define trouble?
Well, yeah, that's it.
Well, no, not. I don't think so. I don't
Did
think
you
so.
ever spend more than 2 hours in the principal's office? That could be trouble.
Never visited the principal's office.
Really? Oh.
So you're a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, I don't think you're
dear.
qualified to be on this podcast.
Only I can tell you how many times these two have been to the principal's office.
It was like almost like a weekly appointment.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, again, what did you do this time? Again. But no, but did you get in trouble as kids at school? Was there a point that you did get in trouble?
Yeah, I think we've gotten yelled at by teachers, of course those things, but I guess never to the extent where my parents would get in call for anything, not so bad, but I wish I did, because it's a different experience. You all seem to be laughing a lot about it now.
We're laughing about it now.
Now, exactly.
Not at that time.
We're laughing about it now. But there was this great story that I think Asanka would be the best person to sort of narrate this. The Sarong Day. The Sarong Day.
Oh,
The
yes.
Sarong Day. So,
Inventor of Sarong Day.
yeah, I mean, but he was one of the instrumental individuals who actually. Do they still have it in school?
No, they don't.
They
He's
don't?
the one who first came in the sarong,
Yeah.
just to school.
Yeah.
He just wore sarong to school. That's what happened.
It was a harmless thing. I mean, we basically had a thing. Our clique used to say, okay, just one day a week, a random day a week, we just all wear sarongs because it's comfortable, right? I mean, it's just sarongs, right? And we had just gotten a new senior school principal or headmistress who had come in from Singapore, so a very different kind of culture of school.
Mrs. Leggett.
Mrs. Leggett, yes. And thing is, she saw these boys and girls wearing sarongs, and then she noted it. But then the next day, the thing is, that day I was unfortunately absent in school because I had homework-itis, so I didn't come. I came the next day, so I was the only one wearing a sarong. So she actually cornered me on the staircase down to the library, and she said, "Asanka, what are you wearing?" So I said, "I'm wearing a sarong." "And what else?" I said, "Sandals." And she said, "You can't wear that." And then I said, "Why not?" Because I mean, at school, at OCS, I mean, they teach us to not take orders, to reason, to argue, to not necessarily argue, but at least,
To have a dialogue.
have a dialogue.
Yeah.
So he said, no, I said, look, this is part of my national dress, right? So, why can't I wear this? So she said, no, don't argue with me, don't wear it again. So naturally, went and told the rest of our friends, and so the next day, 10 and 15 of us came in sarongs.
Actually, more.
More than
I
that.
think more than that.
No,
The
third day was
foreigners.
the every.
Oh, right,
this thing.
right.
So the second day about 10, 15, and we were called to Mr. Omini's office.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr.
Oh, that
Omini.
I
Oh my
remember.
God.
We went in and spirits got a bit high, and
Oh,
anyways,
yeah.
Mr. Omini.
Is Suresh still around?
Suresh is very much still around.
Yeah. We just don't know where.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And so Mr. Omini said, boys, let's not rock the boat and this thing. So we said, no, I mean, we want a valid answer. I mean, if there's a valid reason for us not to wear it, we won't wear it. But we know valid reason was forthcoming. So the next day, basically, the entire 12th grade, the entire 11th grade, and half of 10th grade was wearing sarongs to school.
Sarongs.
And that basically established us. It's not about rebellion, it's about independence. And the lovely thing, the most touching thing, on our graduation, Miss Leggett, when she handed me the graduation certificate, I noticed she was wearing a sarong, like this thing. And she said, it took some time, but I got the message.
Yeah.
And it was not about this thing, it was just simply, that was the culture of the school. It was about individualism,
That's
it's about expression, it's about being yourself.
And the other thing I still remember is the fact that everybody who actually did wear sarong on that day, there was a group picture that was taken which made it to the yearbook.
Yeah.
Again,
Yes.
it goes down to the fact that, again, like you said, it wasn't rebellion. It was basically trying to make yourself heard in a very soft manner. And from that point onwards, they had sarong day in school for the longest
for
time.
a very long time.
For the longest time.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
I'm
why
not
they
too
stopped
sure
it.
what's
I
going
don't
on.
know. Because I moved from the secondary to the primary,
Right.
so I don't know really what happened.
Yeah, that's a boring section of the school.
Oh
The
no,
primary.
don't say that. That's true in terms of like kids getting into trouble. you know.
Right.
That's just baby stuff, not like the ones that you all did.
Dineshka, was there something that a piece of advice a teacher had given you that is still stuck with you, that you maybe even use it in your corporate life today?
Yes. I dated a teacher's daughter
Right.
in school, right?
Okay.
And she was just getting ready to leave for college, and I was in my senior in high. And I dropped her at the airport. It was a very, very sad goodbye. And I saw her father right by the new gym, and he came and he put his hand around me and he said, "Son, I know it's tough, but the show must go on." That's all he said. I mean, I was shocked. I was broken into a zillion pieces. And to date, I realize how this still echoes in my mind when things don't go your way. The show can never stop.
Right.
You know, it has to go. No one is going to have anything perfectly. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. Though it happened through a relationship, I can connect it to a lot of other areas in my life, and I'm still very grateful and very happy for her. She's married with a kid now. God bless her. Amazing, you know. Beautiful advices.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting that you actually managed to sort of connect it to other things in life that the show must go on. What about you, Asanka? I mean, we bumped into so many teachers and lots of those advices we can't even talk about today because they were like, are you sure you want to do this sort of advices?
Some of the things that we did, we would probably get suspended now.
Yes, true.
40 years after leaving
That's
school.
true. That's true.
But,
But yeah, do you remember?
Well, the thing is, I would say the just being able to look at something in so many different viewpoints was probably the biggest takeaway I took away from here. Because, I mean, our friends came from every color of the rainbow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd go to Korean houses, Nigerian houses, Swedish houses. I mean, it was basically, but what I learned was that every situation, you can look at it from so many different vantages and viewpoints, and they look slightly different.
Right.
So it's about thinking outside the box. It's about innovating, and that is, I think, the thing that I took away in terms of really something seminal from school. Like,
A memory that stuck with you in school, what would it be? Apart from Sarong Day.
well, many things pop up, but let's say the more innocent one would be lighting a firecracker and chucking it into the boys' toilet and Shehan coming out shell-shocked.
Yeah, that's I'm surprised I forgot that one, but clearly you can't forget that. But then no, it was a tough bunch of boys, weren't they? And I mean, we were quite
Tell
tough.
me about it.
We
This
were
batch, there were a lot of Sri Lankan boys in your batch, like Neumal,
yeah.
Suresh.
That was the most actually.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But we were all very respectful.
Yeah, very respectful, and you all always stuck together. That
Absolutely.
was the best part, you know. No matter what, always stuck together. Wouldn't snitch on each other.
No, never.
No, my goodness.
That was the school spirit.
That's true. That is true.
Finally, and just before we wind up, what's the one thing that you would like to take from school after all these years that you've been in school? One thing that's very special to you that you want to hold on to?
It's understanding each other, actually, you know, working with so many different teachers, so many from different cultures, different students from different backgrounds. You know, the exposure, I would say, it's great. I mean, it cannot be compared. And I don't think I will survive anywhere else if I go to work after working here for so long.
Right.
Because I would expect the same standards elsewhere, and I will not survive. I know that. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
that exposure you cannot get anywhere.
You can't. I mean, again, you come across so many different, not only kids, but teachers from different
Teachers,
countries.
parents, even
Yeah.
parents teach everybody. You know.
And we're also, I suppose, the students are very lucky that they get very different teaching styles from different teachers.
Yeah.
And it's not the memory method, which is something that's actually, the flag flies high in most of the schools there. You need to memorize it, but it's completely different. So that's exactly what the overseas, I mean, we would still like to call it, we would still like to call it OCS because that's where we grew up with.
Yeah.
But now officially it's OSC. We'd like to know why they changed, but
yeah, actually, honestly.
I don't know. And would you know?
I don't know either.
I heard it was because the name children was in there. And
What were we then?
Yeah, there
exactly,
were-
I mean,
I really don't know the reason.
Go for it.
Actually, I don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. Did anybody tell you? But you joined as OSC.
Oh,
right?
Correct.
You joined as OSC, yeah. So we were basically part of the OCS.
And I
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Asanka. Thank you so much for sharing your
Brilliant.
thoughts. Thank you. It's really good meeting you after so many years.
It's lovely to be back in school.
Oh yeah, it's great to be back in school. Like I said, walk down the corridors, there's a memory somewhere.
Sure.
Walk down every hall, there's a memory somewhere. Walk down every room, as far as a class is concerned, you can remember the teacher. You can remember where you actually sat. You can remember the class. You can remember everything. And that's the beauty as far as OSC is concerned. Dineshka, thank you very much for
you.
coming on the show. And thank you so much for not spilling the beans. We were on pins at the
Wouldn't do
moment,
that.
but thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you
ladies
for
and gentlemen,
inviting me.
thank you very much for coming on the show. That's it as far as our series from the Overseas School of Colombo is concerned. It is for International Teachers Day. And don't forget, while we're obviously on it, we're going to be basically giving you more details on the alumni network and the portal that we are going to basically share the link with you very soon. And you can actually see the link on the series as you go on. Just click on the link, follow the instructions, join the alumni if you were at any point part of Overseas Children's School or Overseas School of Colombo, because we really do have a powerful alumni, and it's only the case of getting together and we can get lots of things done. Till we meet next time, I hope you all the very best, and we shall speak to you soon, coming to you from the Overseas School of Colombo.